Oh yeah, 4 seahorses. How many pearls is that worth?
That is worth 2, my friend.
Ah!
Welcome to Duality Gamecast, sponsored by Gladiator Games.
Today's Battle Royale episode features Abyss.
Welcome to Duality Gamecast. I'm William.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're reviewing Abyss.
The object of Abyss is to be crowned King of the Abyss by having the most influence points at the end of the game. On your turn, you can choose from 3 possible actions to try to gain influence, improve your power or your economy throughout the game. One of the actions you can take is to explore the depths, where you go looking for allies who give you points to recruit lords. When you flip a card over, for instance, this is a 3 of clams, your opponents in turn will each have the opportunity to buy that card from you instead of you taking it into your hand. So for instance, I flip this 3 of clams, and if opponent wants it, they're going to pay me 1 pearl, the currency in the game, and collect that card. Now I have to go explore some more. Here is a 4 of seahorses. If I do not want that card and no one else wants it, we're going to keep going. Monster. Monsters are a little different. A monster you can choose to fight, in which case you automatically defeat it, and depending on how powerful a monster it is, you may collect money or special victory point awards or keys to buy locations. If I don't want to fight it, I just flip to the next card, and it actually gets more powerful for the next person that fights it. Now I've gotten a 4 of octopi, which is really strong in this game, so perhaps I would take that and add it to my hand. Another option you have is to request support from the council. In the middle row here are cards stacked up that were used or discarded at some point in the Explore the Depths stage. So I can just collect one of those stacks and add it to my hand. So here I'm getting 3 extra cards. That's actually pretty strong. The last action you can take is to recruit a lord, the powerful politicians and leaders of the game. Each lord has a victory point or influence point value that's going to be important at the end of the game. They'll usually have a special ability. It may be an ability that happens as soon as you recruit them or affects the rest of the game. Sometimes they'll have keys on them, which helps you purchase locations in the game as well. They all have a cost. It usually requires affiliations. For instance, I want to recruit this jellyfish lord, the alchemist, and you have to have a jellyfish card ally to play and 7 value to recruit him. No problem. I'm going to play 8 in jellyfish, and that lord becomes mine. He has a special ability that will affect the rest of the game. And that's basically the actions you can take on your turn. There is one optional action. Whenever you recruit a lord, the rest of the lords move down this track. You can spend a pearl, the currency, to add to the track. This track does not normally refill. However, if we recruit lords down to where there are 2 or less, whoever recruited that 3rd to last lord gets paid 2 pearls, and then we get to refill the entire track. If at the end of your turn you have 3 keys from lords or abilities, what have you, you take control of a land. These territories usually have some victory point enhancing ability or some other effect on the game. You either take the one that's revealed, or you select a group of them, pick one, and leave the rest out for opponents to take on their turns. After you've done your action for the turn, and if applicable, recruited a land, turn passes to the next player. Whenever someone plays their 7th lord, or we can no longer refill this track of lords, the game ends, we add up points, and see who the king is.
Alright, so Abyss is a game for 2 to 4 players. Matt, how do you feel about how it plays?
I really enjoyed playing this game. It is pretty accessible. It keeps a really clean system. You only have 3 actions to choose from. It's pretty clear what you need to do in the game. You know, you're gathering allies, that you use to buy lords. Lords and some abilities give you keys to take control of location cards, which mostly give you bonus victory point stuff at the end of the game. The lords usually have cool special abilities on them that are faction unique. So the red crab dudes are more aggro. The blue diplomatic guys are a little trickier. There's a good combination of different stuff there. There's some really neat things to think about in this game when you're exploring the depths to get new allies. You know, they have a number of values on them, up to 4, I believe. 5, I believe. So when you flip that ally, you don't even know you're going to get that card because your opponents can pay you pearls, the money in the game, to buy it before you even get a crack at it. What's really cool about that, it's like a reverse bidding game in a way, but it's also the primary way to get money. There's no system in this game really to just generate money. You get a couple lords that'll give you some money, but it's really getting people to buy these guys that's going to get you money. And that's really unique, I thought.
Yeah, and because there's the only other real ways to get it is either getting lucky and being in a position to get, like, when there's 3 lords left, buying one of those 3 lords. That gives you 2 pearls. Pretty much, when you play it, if you fill up this entire track and don't pick anything, the last one you have to pick and you get a pearl. So we've seen games where people run it out and skip over like a 4, which is a pretty good number, just because they need pearls for bidding, and they'll only have to take like a 2 or something, or 1 at the end, because once you get here, you can't go any further, but the pearl is so worth it you're willing to take that gamble. So I think that's kind of neat, because one of the things I realized is this game is super simple to play, but it's one of those like minutes to learn, lifetime to master type of things. There's a lot of depth that I don't think I've even fully understood yet about it, where when you're playing it, there's all sorts of different kind of avenues, and at first they seem very similar, but you realize there's a lot of branching options, a lot of different things you can do, because a lot of the lords that are really good have keys on them.
Mm-hmm.
And which you think is really cool because that gives you the locations. But when you get 3 keys, you have to get a location. Yeah. And the location goes over the gameplay text of any of the lords with the keys.
Yeah, it shuts them down.
So you'll have a really cool, powerful ability, and if you want to hold on to the ability, you have to stall your gameplay, which is kind of interesting. So that was something that I realized after playing a few times, that you start going after maybe suboptimal lords because you want to keep the couple good ones you have activated.
Yeah. I think there's even lords in there that swap them so that you can try to keep a good one out and things like that.
All right. So now art and components. Matt, what do you have to tell me?
I really like this art. It's really thematically just right for this undersea kingdom political struggle game. I really like it a lot. The component quality is also really cool and different. This is the only game I've ever seen with little clamshell cups to hold your pearl money in. I've never seen either of those things in a game. Although some people have issues with the pearls bouncing and running across the room. Card quality is nice. You know, they're big cards, which is awesome for the lords. The allies are the classic little cards. But you only need to shuffle them once, maybe twice.
I'm starting to feel like that's an excuse we always give for them. Oh, you don't have to shuffle them that much. I mean, they're fine quality, but you do hold them in your hand and you are using them to bid a lot. I just wish they were a little bit bigger, because everything else is so all about the art and so big. I just wish it was a little bit bigger, regular size. But
the board is beautiful and really streamlined. It's obvious you've got a track for allies, a track to get support from the stacks of extra allies, and your lord track. A few little symbols on the cards. Pretty, once you've read the rules and played a couple times. I think the hardest thing we had to figure out was some of the lords require multiple factions to be spent, so understanding exactly how those rules worked. But it wasn't really that hard. This game has a score card, like for working out the math on your score. kind of like another game we reviewed not too long ago, Five Tribes. I don't know if this is coming back into vogue or not, but it's actually kind of useful. And for us, it's been kind of fun. You post them up on the board so we can look at them later on. Dylan, what do you think about the art and component quality?
The art, for the most part, is fine. It's pretty good, actually. It's painting quality, like a painter made this, It's really good. But these small cards are ridiculously small. They annoy me very much. I don't like them at all. I don't like to hold them. It felt like they were too lazy to make the board bigger so they can hold normal size cards like these and put in these little slots right here. And these plastic marbles right here, they're fine.
They're pearls.
Pearls, whatever. They're marbles. Okay, but these annoy me too. Like, they shouldn't even bother. Because they're plastic and cheap feeling,
Well, they're made out of the same thing.
Yeah, look like how they tried to design right here that actually, attempted to, but that's sad to me. Because these are just cheap plastic holders for these cheap plastic pearls.
No other game has those, though.
So they're still cheap and plastic?
No.
I would have liked it if they were, just, I don't know.
Like a real clamshell? That would have made this game a lot more expensive.
Would have made it better.
No. I'm going to defend the small cards really quick. Just one thing. Thematically, these are kind of the populace, the commoners, or the lord, the drones of the world. So thematically, I'm not as important as this guy. So I kind of get that.
Okay.
I kind of do.
I'll give you that one. And I would say that for me, the one nitpick, the pearls are great. I love these, but I was the one who, if you get more than, say, 8 of these pearls in here, every time I'd reach in, they'd pop out. And it's just because I'm all slappy with my hands. And I'm not knocking the pearls, but I'm saying, that's the one thing that, for me, component-wise, that was at all an issue, was the fact that they made something so cool, I couldn't handle it.
The only other art thing and it's a total nitpick thing, but every box comes with one of the lords' faces on it, and there's different boxes, which is a cool idea, actually. But it's always a zoomed-in image of one of the card arts, and it's just makes them look really creepy.
It's not that bad.
So on my shelf, it's always going to go this way.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just kind of funny.
That one would be more creepy because,
They're all creepy.
Alright, so I'm going to use this as an example of something. I'm going to use an example of why I prefer video games to board games. See this art? It's great, right? But it provides no lore or no story for how it got there, basically. Or it doesn't explain anything. You're just kind of there and doing it, It just doesn't appeal to me at all. And along with, in my opinion, shallow gameplay that can get kind of boring, especially when people's turns feel like they take way too long for what the game is. It just doesn't. It just comes down to boring, mediocre, and an example of why I am just a video gamer at heart. So that will be a pass for me.
All right, Abyss. I really like this game. We heard a lot of good buzz coming out of the cons this year about this game. Knew I was going to have to get it and make people play it. Wow, it's a lot of fun. It has a fairly light system with a lot of depth, a lot of different angles, a lot of, I think, replayability. The reverse bid system and the different factions just make you think about all kinds of different ways to approach this game. So I'm going to call this a love it. I would probably call it a must buy, but some people maybe would feel they have games in their collection already that can scratch the same itch. So it's a must buy for me, but overall I'm going to call it a love it. On another note, I'm looking to put a child up for adoption.
I'm going to go with 11 on this. Abyss has a lot of interesting things going on with it. I like the fact that it has a ton of depth in terms of gameplay and strategy, but only about this much complexity behind it, which is interesting. I always love that when you can do something that's simple and clean. You don't have to explain the game 50 times to someone who's new. You go through it once and you're like, oh, I completely understand it, but I have no way have I mastered it. So for me, I love it. Hey guys, thanks for watching this Battle Royale episode. If you'd like to subscribe, click on me. And thanks to all these people for helping us out.
Hey everybody, just a quick message. We want to announce our contest winner for our 5 Tribes subscriber only contest, and it was Ben Weems!
Thanks guys, this was a lot of fun. We hope to do more competitions like this in the future.
Thank you.